to welcome all the honorable dignitaries and participants here at the virtual platform for the International E-Conference. The topic of today's International E-Conference is How to Teach Success. The college, Sri Kumaraswamy College, Ausa, is affiliated to Swami Ramananda Tirth Marathwada University, Nanded. The college undertakes number of innovative activities. The purpose behind it is to enrich students, teachers, researchers, and knowledge seekers. Webinar series and international conferences are the part of innovative activities. And all these activities are going on very well without any interruption. And it is due to the tenacity and hard efforts of the Honorable Principal Dr. M. Ambedkar sir, who is the chief organizer and also the chairperson of World Record Webinar Series and International Conferences. I welcome you, sir, on behalf of the organizing committee as the chairperson of today's International E-Conference. I am very happy to welcome today's honorable dignitary, Sanja Stankovic ma'am from Novi, Serbia. The honorable speaker is going to deliver lecture on the topic How to Teach Success. On behalf of the organizing committee of International Conference and Sri Kumaraswamy College, Ausa, I heartily welcome you, ma'am, as the chief guest and keynote speaker. But before the actual beginning of the keynote speech, we all will like to listen the introductory words of Honorable Chief Organizer, Dr. M. Ambedkar sir. So I welcome you, sir, for your opening remarks. Please. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for your warm welcome. I would like to congratulate to all of you, to your institution, and to all the people who come up with this international conference. I'm sure that many of you are feeling very tired of working online and that many of you have this so-called Zoom fatigue. But I must admit that it is really nice to have this opportunity to be with people from many different institutions who are holding different kind of titles, roles, and have various responsibilities. It's really nice to come together and share our knowledge for the sake of improving the knowledge of our students. As you probably heard, my name is Sanja Stankovic, and I'm a part of international platform that is called Success Empowered. I'm currently based in Serbia, but some of my team members are in India, in Scotland, and also some other Balkan countries as well. I'm also kindly thanking to Dr. Betkar because he will support me in presenting my PowerPoint presentation that I will share today with you for this 30 minutes as the time that is given to us to spend together today. Mr. Betkar, thank you a lot. I will just shortly say what is Success Empowered about. Actually, Success Empowered came up as a project while me and some of my fellow colleagues were stranded in India during COVID. We went there for a yoga teachers training in Bangalore, And as no one expected, we stayed there almost 100 days. The borders were closed. Well, I'm sure that all of you remember this time. And that was the time when we realized that lots of people are struggling and the business needed to change. We all needed to adjust during this global situation. Dr. Betka, you can also let other slides. So I just shortly want to share what is Success Empowered about. We are an international team who are mostly working with companies all over the world, and we are helping people to establish culture, to change the mindset in their companies for the sake of changing the business. We want to show the world that business and profit doesn't need to be something bad. We want to help people how to learn how to utilize their people, resources, and to help their people to improve and feel that they're working for something that is more important than them as individual. And at the same time, we are also collaborating with some universities. We are especially focused on youth and on students because we believe that students are future leaders of our world. And if we invest the best of us in them, then we can expect the brighter future. So as you can see, the impact that we are trying to bring, and luckily we are succeeding in that, is in each organization to bring more stability, less stress, more collaboration, less competition, and you can show the rest of it. It's more fearlessness, less anxiety, more action, and less hesitation. And of course, that's also something that we want to encourage from our students as well. Now, I'll just shortly say a few words about myself. We can go to the next slide. My basic education is coming from sociology, so I'm a sociologist. And yeah, you can click the rest of them. Thank you very much. But even though I was really passionate about sociology and to discover how our society is impacting individuals, I continued my education with psychotherapy. And for the last 10 years, I'm working mostly in business sector on various human resources positions. And let's say that I specialized in mental health. So most of the time, for whichever company I work, I contribute to development of mental health of all our employees. Also, I'm emotional intelligence trainer, yoga teachers trainer, and my passion for mindfulness, yoga, and meditations was to bring something of that to universities and to corporate world, because we are all busy all the time and we rarely think about what is happening within us. And I'm sure that you know so far how important that is. I don't want to speak more about myself. Just one more thing, I'm also working as a psychotherapist in one youth organization, mostly helping LGBT community to overcome their problems, and also I'm also organizing some workshops for harm reduction for people who have various emotional problems, even suicidal issues. That's how I'm contributing to my community. And in the next slide, you will see what we will cover shortly today. First, I'll just shortly speak about the usual concept of success that probably most of us heard so far. Then I will share 10 ingredients that me and my Success Empowered team recognized so far that can help any individual to become successful. And at the end, we can shortly discuss what we, as people who are working with students, what we can do in order to deliver these things to our students to be more successful. If you have any questions, maybe you can save them until the end of presentation, and I'll make sure that we have a few minutes for interaction at the end. So when we speak, just let me know, confirm if you can see the slide. Maybe the slide is small, but let me know if you can see, if you can read properly. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Betker. That's the slide, but I think you need to make it smaller for people to see. Whatever people, now I can't see the, okay, that's fine, as long as people can see. So I'm sure that even though most of the people, I don't see any students, so I guess the most of you are at the middle of your career, and maybe it's difficult for you to remember how it was when you were at the start of your career and what your parents were advising you, what you need to do in order to become successful. And of course, these recipes, this is even better, thank you. These recipes for success are different when we are comparing from culture to culture, but let's say that today we can all agree that most of the advices that we hear when we are young is that it's important to finish our education. We believe if we choose some good university and we finish everything with very high degrees, if we find a well-paid job, we will be successful. Then if we get married, we will get successful. Then if we start a family, if we have children, we believe we will be happy and successful. Then, of course, there is new house, new car, and you know how it is. Usually, whatever you acquire, you want to have more. And what's happening is that, yes, Alvi Ladola, I see you raised the hand. You wanted to say something? Okay, great, thank you. So these are these usual beliefs about success. They come from society as a kind of promise, what we need to do in order to become successful. And on that journey, we usually compare to others. Sometimes it even comes from our parents. They can compare you with the children of your neighbors. They can compare you with your friends. They can even compare you with your siblings and say, okay, how come your brother can have such a good degrees or have such a good job and you can't make it? And also, we are trying to compete. And in this game of competition, what actually happens is that we change the focus that should be on us. We are changing focus from internal to external world. And that is how we are losing our orientation. And this picture, I don't know if you can see it, but I really like this picture because I think it shows, just the previous slide, it shows, I think it shows a good how our education system can be sometimes. So we have a teacher here in front of different kind of animals, and the teacher says, for a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. So please climb that tree. And we all know that fish is not the same like elephant. It's not same like a bird. It's not same like a monkey. So the message of this story is that we are all different. And the goal of our education should be to discover what are our uniqueness and how we can use it for our own success. We can now proceed to the next slide. And we can start with the first step for success that we noticed it might be helpful for us to teach and to learn our students. Yeah, you can show the next slide. Thank you very much. So first step, it says contentment over conformity. As I was just saying, many people choose and they compromise their dreams just for the sake of financial stability. Maybe you can remember what were you advised when you were choosing your university. Sometimes people, I especially hear this from people who are choosing art, for instance, here in my country, in Serbia. So students who are interested in art, they are usually getting advices from their parents, like, "Oh, are you sure? Do you want to be an artist?" And I have a lot of actors in my family, and I know that they were struggling with their parents when they were choosing profession. So we in Success and Power feel that we should actually encourage students to opt for a job that aligns with their passion. Because when we really do something that we love, then this doesn't even feel like a job sometimes. So I would say that what is effortless for you, that's the right thing for you. And this doesn't mean that it's not going to be hard, but if you choose what you love or something that you are good at, then there are a greater chance that you'll be successful. And I like this quote by Mohanji, Indian humanitarian and spiritual teacher who just recently also got a doctorate in the humanistic sciences. He said, "Salary is a slavery. Salary is a slavery if you compromise your true potential, natural talents and dreams for the sake of it and live a mundane, mediocre life." Now, some of you may agree with this, some of you not, and that is okay. Sometimes we are aware that our life situation can't allow us to choose what we love. Sometimes we have great responsibilities, and that's why we can't do exactly what we want. We can't do. We need to do something that will bring us money, but at the same time, we can discover our passion and we can volunteer in the direction that is inspiring. On the next slide, for the next step, it's connection to our authentic self. So we believe that connecting with our authenticity is the key to uniqueness, because we are all unique. There are 8 billion people in the world, and each of us has its own purpose. So we are all unique, and there is enough space for all of us to express our uniqueness. So instead of encouraging people to compare, to compete with others, we should encourage our students to discover who they authentically are and what are their strengths. And at the end, we can see what we can do on this path for us as teachers. Next slide, please. So third step says self-acceptance and learning from failure. I guess you all know who is the only person that never makes mistakes. Exactly. So only people who decide not to do anything, they can't do any mistakes, right? Because it's impossible not to make mistakes. I don't know about you, but I still have some trauma from my childhood, especially when I started going to school and when I would make some mistake. The way how teachers would communicate and give me feedback, it really, it left me with this uncomfortable feeling, like, not that I just made a mistake, but also that I'm not okay as a human being. And I think that's something that is changing nowadays with our students. And I like this quote by Albert Einstein, who said, failure is just success in progress. So we should teach our students to accept themselves and to accept mistakes. And I see from working with various companies, most of the companies say, okay, we want our culture to be very innovative. We want more innovation, more creativity. And then at the same time, people are afraid to make mistakes. And we know that innovation can't go without giving permission to people to make mistakes. We can proceed to the next slide, please. Fourth step is competing with yourself and not others. And as I said at the beginning, I think that our capitalistic society is made on these postulates, like that we need to compete, we need to be better than others in order to be successful. And it kind of leaves this impression that there is no enough room for all of us. And I think there are many research on this topic, how comparing to others, and especially on social media, it brings more unhappiness to everyday life. So if our students want to compete, we should encourage them to compete with themselves. So they can note how they were in the last year and what are the changes, how they improve themselves. They should plan for sure, and to say, okay, this is something that I would like to change. We should encourage them to do that, because their uniqueness and their authenticity is their true signatures on earth. And that is something that we need to encourage them. And we can proceed to the fifth step, to the next slide. Thank you. Fifth step is believe in yourself and overcome challenges. I would say that if I would need to choose one thing that's unique since I'm also in psychotherapy, and for a few years now I'm working with clients, and if I would need to choose just one thing that I saw that helped all my clients, no matter what they would bring to the therapy and no matter what was the reason why they came to the therapy, I would say that developing self-belief was something that was helpful. And also by working with LGBT youth at this counseling facility where we are often conducting various trainings and workshops, I see that's the one of the most important things that's helping them. So we need to explain to our students that there is no way they can live a life without crisis and without struggles, but if they learn how to rely on themselves and not to compare with others, they can overcome any challenges, because then they will have strong support that's coming from within. Now we can proceed to the next slide. Sixth step is embracing present moments. If we just all stop for a second and think, we are all aware that now you and me are speaking. We are together now. Maybe we will speak some other time, but that's some other time. We only have this present moment. No one can affect our past. We can't go back to past. So that's already done. We can only focus and we can only influence what is currently happening. And I'm sure that many of you read many research that are showing how mindfulness, practicing any kind of mindful activities, it doesn't even have to be meditation. It's something that's proven today that can even affect the gray area in our mind, and it can improve the concentration, the focus, and success of students. So we should encourage our students to embrace the present moment and help them to develop some strategies. Many of students are not happy to deal with present moment because they're going through some unpleasant things. But if we teach them how to regulate their emotions and how to deal with what's happening now, they will be more successful in this. We can proceed. Thank you. Seventh step says satisfaction over external richness. And we mentioned at the beginning how success can come from the contentment life, but I'm not sure that there are many people today here. I see 64 people on this call, and I'm sure if I would ask any of you, all of us have various definitions of what does it mean to lead a contentment life. But I would say that we shouldn't probably mix gratification with contentment. And most of us, most of the time, we say that we are contented with when some of our desires are fulfilled. So, okay, I had a good coffee this morning, or a colleague gave me a compliment, so I feel contented. But that's not actually what we had on our mind. So when I say contented life, I want to emphasize that we learn how to be contented with anything that's happening. So even if we are dealing with some unpleasant things in life, we should say, okay, I'm happy because I can experience this. I am alive. So that's why I can have this experience. So that doesn't mean if I have unpleasant emotions that my whole life is not worth of living. And if as I mentioned at the beginning, how we should encourage students to choose to choose jobs and to choose to study something that they're passionate about. This is something that I had on my mind. So when we are seeking money and all this external gratification, then we come to this phase, and I'm sure that many of you on this call experience this. So you achieved everything that you were searching for, and then you just realize there's still something more. So external richness can't give us that kind of contentment. We can proceed to the 8th step, and that is create a mark with originality. So degrees and education, for sure, they provide positions, and that's something that you all want to achieve. We want to feel respected in our society. But in order to make a significant mark in the world, people needs to be very original. And first person that can come to my mind, probably because the person is from my country. Some of people consider him as Serbian, some of them Croatian, but I'm sure you heard about him. That's Nikola Tesla. I'm sure that most of you heard about Nikola Tesla. Or let's take Gandhi, for example. One needed to be very authentic in order to leave a significant mark. So I like to ask my students, when you die, so how would you love people to remember you? Would you love for them to say, oh, this guy was really rich, he had an amazing car, beautiful wife, so many properties? Or you would love, or if even someone would remember that, or you want someone to say, okay, this person really did something, not just for themselves, this person did something for the earth, for the society. So he left the mark. And this is something that we want to encourage our students to do. So encourage them to make the difference. We can proceed to the next slide. And here you can see the animal we all recognize, and I'm sure that you all are aware that there are many animals in animal kingdom who are bigger, even more powerful than a lion. And then why is lion considered as a king of the jungle? Well, it's because of his attitude. Because when lion come, even the elephant is scared. It says something like, oh my God, lion came, lion showed up. So even the elephant can be more powerful, it's bigger than lion, lion brings that kind of attitude. And attitude needs to come from our authentic feeling from within. We need to be self-aware, and we need to build ourselves in a way that we can have this attitude. Otherwise, it's just the attitude that can be really, really quickly realized to be fake, and then no one will respect you. Thank you, Dr. Gundu. Thank you for your feedback. So fear should not deter anyone from pursuing goals. I think that fear is the only emotion that no matter how much we are working on ourselves, on our personal development, fear comes from our instinct. So we need to teach our students it's okay to feel fear. It's okay to feel fear and still to dare to do amazing things. And the last step, 10th, is language of kindness. And I'm sure that you who are working with students and with people every day are aware how kind word can open many doors. We have lots of politicians. We have lots of conquerors. We have lots of people who are leading wars, who are fighting for a country. And I'm not saying they are not very much needed in today's world, but I feel we need more kind people. So we should encourage students to be kind, because kindness is linked to happier, healthier, and more successful life. And for end, we can go to the last slide. And this is just food for thought that I wanted to share with you, because now we shared so many things that I'm sure that most of you are already sharing with your students. But then again, what can we share with our students? We can share only what we already have. So if we did not work on our self-awareness. If we did not ask ourselves, who am I? Who am I a part of my positions, my possessions, my titles, my relationships? If you did not ask yourself this question at least once in your life, then you can't teach self-awareness to your students. And the same goes with self-acceptance. We can help our students to accept themselves only if we research, if we explored what are our own uniqueness, our strengths and our weaknesses. And flexibility is really important because we are stable as much as we are flexible. And I think that COVID time showed us really well what does it mean to be flexible. And for the end, we need to learn how to be stable. And we will be stable once we master all the three previous steps. Cultivate humanity in students is necessary today. Yes, I couldn't agree more. Cultivate humanity. I would say that I consider humanity as my religion. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Are there any comments or questions that I can answer now before? Yes, Davidas Kendre.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Honorable Principal Dr. M.M. Bedkar, sir, and all organizing committee members from Kumaraswamy Mahavidyalaya, Hausa. College has organized an international conference on how to teach success. Today's keynote speaker is Sanja ma'am. She explained wonderful presentation. I think that today's presentation is very excellent and dynamic. It is a very informative and knowledgeable and interesting session. I have one question. What is the best method of teaching? And another is, what is the secret of successful teacher? No.
Thank you very much for your question. I would start from your first question. What is the best method for teaching? And my answer would be presence. So if we are able to be present with our students, and that would mean to be conscious while we are speaking, conscious in listening to our students. I think as teachers, we got used to speak all the time, but I think our students also need us to listen and also to give them a sign that we actually heard what they have to say. And for your second question, how we can, did you ask how we can teach success, right? The answer would be 4 things that were on my last slide. So we need to master our own self-awareness. We need to understand ourselves. We need to feel ourselves. If not to discover who we truly are, at least to commit ourselves to this journey, to commit ourselves to discovering who we truly are. To develop flexibility, because as much flexible we are, less vulnerable we are. And I think that teaching brings a lot of vulnerability. So I would say that our stability is the greatest method and the greatest relationship with our students. Thank you very much.
Wonderful explanation you have made. Thank you, Sanja ma'am, and thank you, Principal Dr. M.M. Bedkar, sir, Prashant sir, and Karad sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be with you today.
Thank you, Dr. Devidas Kendre sir. And now I would like to invite Dr. Swanand Shukla sir for his question. Please, sir.
Good evening, Dr. Bedkar sir, and good afternoon, ma'am. I think you are staying in the European countries, and definitely the time is afternoon over there. And must be 3 o'clock over there? 3 p.m.?
Now it's half past 2. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, correct. So wonderful presentation you have made, and really, it has to be what we can say. It has to be placed in their mind, and not only by the teaching, but I think with the practice, I think it has to be developed among the students. The success nowadays, people want a easy and shortcut way of success. They are running behind the short ways. They are having chat GPT and they are presenting their paper. So that is not a right way. But I think patience and perseverance, these are the two important words for the success. Patience and perseverance, because it is said that the last stroke, that breaks the stone. And we have to continue up to the last stroke. So that is how we can get a success. But nowadays, somewhere in students, I'm dealing with the medical students, and somewhere this patience and perseverance, keeping oneself behind something, having a passion about that thing is missing. People jump from one thing to another thing. So that has, really become, that is how it becomes a little difficult to go to the final stage of success, So how to cultivate this kind of virtues in, the budding doctors or the students or the children. So that is very important, patience and perseverance, what I feel. So please comment on this, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think I even learned the word saburi. Am I pronouncing well? Saburi.
No.
No. I was saying the word saburi. They taught me that means patience.
Yeah.
Is that true? Oh, yeah. Okay. I discovered the.
Saburi and Shraddha,
Yeah. I had a few lessons of Sanskrit, and I discovered that Serbian and Sanskrit language also have some similarities, which was very interesting. I agree with you that today, like children are following our example. So even though there are shortcuts, so for instance, I would be bold and I would bring the topic of ChatGPT to students. I would open that topic, and then you can discuss like, okay, so what would you do if you start a new job, and then you got the job by using ChatGPT. You started working and you're using ChatGPT every day, and then what are you going to do when there is no internet? There are so many things that might happen next year. I'm not saying they will happen, but they might happen. So we might have internet shortages. We can have satellite war. So we don't know what's going to happen. So I think we need to be flexible, and we need to go there to be with students, to show them what are alternatives, to tell them what might happen, but we need to lead by example. So if we are bringing the qualities we want them to develop, there is the greater chance that they will follow us. But if we are speaking one thing and then we are doing something else, then they will not be impacted, right? We need to lead by example. So I would say, don't worry about the final outcome, and don't worry how much your words will stay with your students or with your community. But you do the right thing. You be happy with what you are delivering to this world, and it will show. It will show. And then not everyone. You won't be everyone's cup of tea, but who shall follow you, they will follow you. Thank you.
Great words, ma'am. Wonderfully explained. Thank you. And there is always a fight between who's the right and what is the kind. So I think instead of becoming right for everything, become a kind, everything will become right for the person. So that contentment, that feeling of satisfaction, the gratitude, thanking the God, what you are giving me, that kind of a feeling has to be placed in people's mind. Otherwise, it seems to be a race nowadays. Everyone is running from behind something, and we don't have any destination. So that naturally one has to think about this and how to get a complete success. and whether we should, success is not for the other. Success, we should feel that I have done what I, desire to do. So that is our success, what I feel. So thank you very much. Wonderful explanation today, ma'am, and really evoked you the thinking process about the success. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm really grateful to be with you today. I feel fulfilled because of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Swanand Shukla, sir, for your valuable words. And thank you, ma'am, for your illustration. Now, after this, I would like to invite participants for questions. Please, if anybody has any question or explanation, observation, opinion, please.
Uh, Good evening, Dr. Vedkar sir. Good afternoon, Sanja madam. It was a happy moment for us that you uttered the word saburi for the patients. How do you know these Sanskrit words? What made you to learn this? What was the cause behind it? We felt very happy when you used the word saburi. So very great.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Shruda and Saburi, is it faith and patience? 9 years ago, when I was working with some lawyers. I was experiencing lots of stress. I started doing yoga, meditations, etc. And then I came across Mohanji. He's a spiritual teacher from India. And I started practicing his meditations. And then I went to one retreat that he organized. And then I learned a lot about myself by following his practice. And he's from India, even though today he's traveling all over the world. And I just came from Australia. I was there for a retreat with Mohanji in the Mohanji Center of Benevolence. And with him, I started learning some of the mantras, and I discovered the power of mantras. And I must say that I'm really fascinated by the power of Sanskrit language. I'm still learning how to pronounce because it's not easy for us people in Europe. But let's say that I learned in my life what are the benefits of gratitude, of many things coming from India. So I'm looking forward coming back to India again.
It's very great, madam. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ravindra.
Thank you. Is there anybody else, please? Any participant? Any question? I think now there is no any question. I thank Honorable Ma'am for her motivational and inspiring lecture on the topic how to teach success. And after that, there was very good discussion session in which Dr. Devidas Kendre, Dr. Swanand Shukla sir and Ravindra sir have taken part and made it more useful and fruitful for the enhancement of the participants and delegates. Now, after this, I would like to invite Honorable Principal Dr. M. Ambedkar sir for his closing remarks. Please, sir.
Hello. Sir. सर एक प्रश्न विचारायचा आहे.
Thank you. I feel truly honored to be with all of you today. Thank you very much for the discussion, for your kind invitation. I wish you all the best to your university and to all the upcoming projects that you are doing. We can connect via LinkedIn. I'm inviting all of you, if you are using LinkedIn, we can connect and stay in touch for some future events. Wish you all the best.
हा सर, आता मला तो इंग्रजीमध्ये सांगता येणार नाही, पण तुम्ही त्यांना ते कन्वर्ट करून सांगाल. त्यांचा जर हा विषय असेल की बाबा ध्यानधारणा करणं हे जर उपयुक्त आहे, या पातळीवरचा जर प्रश्न असेल तर माझा त्यांना, म्हणजे या पातळीवरचा त्यांचा विषय असेल तर माझा प्रश्न हा आहे त्यांना की ध्यानधारणेमध्ये किंवा विपश्यनेमध्ये डोळे माणसाला मिटायला लावतात आणि डोळे जर मिटल्या गेले किंवा मिटवल्या गेले तर आपण संपूर्ण जगाला कसं काय पाहू शकणार, आणि ते जर आपण पाहू शकलो नाही तर आपल्यामध्ये जाणीवेचं द्रव्य किंवा जाणीव द्रव्य कसं निर्माण होईल, आणि ते जर निर्माण नाही झालं तर जगापासून आपण विनमुख होऊ. त्याच्यामुळे बा ध्यानधारणा ही काही फारच उपयुक्त गोष्ट आहे असं काही नाही, उलट हे अध्यात्माकडे नेण्याचा एक प्रवास आहे असं मला वाटतं. तर त्याच्यावर त्यांनी आपलं विवेचन करावं असं मला वाटतं बा.
Yeah, so when we close our eyes, we are setting intention to be within ourselves, because we want to develop consciousness to discover what is within us, and all external factors are standing in our way to achieve this. That's why we are closing eyes. And the second reason is because our eyes are spending lots of energy. So there is even conscious walking as a dynamic meditation that is done in a way that you're not closing your eyes completely, but you are watching like 20 centimeters, in front of yourself. And then after half an hour, it has an impact like you meditated 3 hours, because you were saving the energy that your eyes are usually spending. You can try that. Or mohanji.org, all meditations are free. You can download them for free and just see if that works for you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Now I am here for vote of thanks on behalf of organizing committee of International Conference and Sri Kumar Swami College, Ausa. First of all, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Honorable Dignitary and Keynote Speaker Sanja Stankovic ma'am from Serbia. She has accepted the invitation of our college and spared her precious time for enlightening us on the topic. and the speech was confidence boosting speech, very inspirational and motivational, and it was very useful for all participants and delegates. So thank you, ma'am, from the bottom of heart. I also thank Honorable Chief Organizer and Principal Dr. M. Ambedkar sir for his endless efforts to bring all the delegates and participants from all over the globe on this virtual platform to discuss on various topics and subjects, and which is really enhancing and enriching the knowledge of all participants and delegates. So thank you, sir, on behalf of the organizing committee. I also thank Dr. Devdas Kendre sir, Dr. Swanand Shukla sir, Ravindra sir, and Dr. Yuvraj sir for your active participation in discussion session, because of which we got additional information and knowledge. And so thank you, active participants, and all the participants and delegates who are joining from the different corners of the globe and the country are the soul of this international webinar series and international conferences who are making this very successful. So thank you, all the participants. And now I request all the participants, please do not forget to fill feedback link to have your certificates. And at the end, with the kind permission of Chief Organizer, Honorable Principal Dr. M. Ambedkar sir, I declare here that today's international e-conference is over. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, ma'am. Happy Holi. Happy Holi, ma'am.
I celebrated Holi in Australia with Mohanji. I was wearing white t-shirts and then I was all in the colors. I can send you a picture on LinkedIn. Yeah. Thank you.
Ma'am.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be with you. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Would love to do something for your students as well. Thank you very much.